Tonight, disappointment over deals gone wrong.
755 complaints against this business. They have an F rating with us.
More customers sharing stories about being misled by an ad.
I was frustrated because I knew something was up, but I didn't quite think this.
For an appliance repair service. Plus, change of plans.
It's progress, sure, but it's not the what we were looking for.
An update on some sold-out shows in Kitchener for a controversial comedian. Also, bridging generations.
'Cause my friends are your friends and your friends are mine.
The power of music.
And we actually had a husband of one of our members say, "This is the first time I've heard my wife's voice in a very long time."
To stir up memories and meaning. Good evening. We begin with some news stories about disappointing dealings with an appliance repair service. Tonight, the Better Business Bureau telling us they've received hundreds of complaints about a company that some local residents say they unwittingly hired because of an ad they claim was misleading. CTV's Jeff Pickle live in studio with new reporting on this for us tonight. You know, Jeff, we hear from more people on this story, and the message does appear to be consistent.
Well, Tony, over the last 3 years, we've heard the Better Business Bureau has heard over 700 complaints filed with the watchdog organization. And tonight, 2 news stories, both stemming from a sponsored Google ad that looks a lot like the name of a well-respected local company.
It smells like burnt rubber when it.
It's a bad day for anyone when the washing machine goes down.
I thought I would just do a quick Google search to make an appointment with them. Searched Waterloo Appliance, first thing that came up, thought it was their website, clicked on it.
For Esther Slavinsky of Waterloo, she thought her luck turned around when she got a same-day repair scheduled.
I happen to have a friend at home with me, and we see a vehicle pull up into the driveway, but it's just a navy car.
Slavinsky's day was about to go from bad to worse, if not for her attentive friend.
It's not marked with any business name on it. And my friend Maria immediately says to me, "Who did you book?" And I said, "Waterloo Appliance." And she said, "Oh my goodness, did you not see the CTV News report?"
The CTV report in question from last month details how people think they are calling Waterloo Appliance service, but due to a well-placed sponsored Google ad, they're actually calling the appliance repair team.
They Google our name, they'll get the top 5 or 6 sponsored ads, and they'll see a name that's close to ours that isn't ours.
So I quickly called them just to confirm that this was their guy. And sure enough, the admin said, "No, we didn't send anyone to you today."
Slavinsky sent the technician from the appliance repair team away before he could begin his work.
He did come back 10 minutes later with a bill for the $80 for the service call. But in further looking into the news report, I feel very lucky that I didn't have him come and look at my appliance.
But yeah, so this is the beast.
Joy Huggins of Waterloo was not so lucky.
I run a rescue, which takes tons of towels and blankets that we're always doing a wash, constantly.
With a house full of animals, Joy goes through a lot of laundry.
So the same day service is what got me, because I have to keep doing the wash, like continually.
According to Huggins, when the technician arrived, alarm bells went off right away.
I said, "Why are you in your car?" And I said, "I was expecting a truck or a van with, your name on it."
She says after the $80 charge just to show up, it was another $290 to look at her washing machine.
I walked away for a few minutes and then came back like 5 minutes later, and he was all done. He was all done. And I went, "What? You had $290? Wow." He said, "Yep."
According to Huggins, not only was the washing machine not fixed, but it was worse off than before.
I was frustrated because I knew something was up, but I didn't quite think this.
Joy and Esther are not alone in their frustration with the appliance repair team. According to the Better Business Bureau, they have a long track record.
So for the 3-year period, BBB has received 755 complaints against this business. They have an F rating with us.
The BBB say what happened to Joy and Esther is in line with the 700+ complaints they have received.
Specifically, consumers are alleging that the company is unable to properly diagnose and repair the appliance effectively, and that there's a lack of follow-up and resolution to those issues, and the cost of the parts are grossly inflated.
Their advice is straightforward. Before booking a call, do some research.
So I can't stress enough to consumers, research first. Check, come to us, see what our files are indicating.
Joy and Esther both agree it's a tough way to learn a lesson.
But it does make me think twice about letting someone into my home without seeing identification and credentials, and a service vehicle is helpful in that.
We reached out to the appliance repair team on several occasions over the last week, but did not hear back.
And in our original story, we spoke directly with the local reputable company, Waterloo Appliance Service. They told us they get calls nearly every day about this issue, and they are very eager to see something done about the issue.
Yeah, Jeff, and on that, certainly begs the question with such a documented history of activity, those hundreds of complaints to the Bureau we mentioned, although they are a watchdog organization. How is it that the company is able to keep operating?
Well, Tony, it's in a little bit of a legal gray zone that we're in. So whether it's not necessarily against the law to have a sponsored Google ad, for example, and many of the actions we've seen don't actually break laws. So people we spoke to say very much, despite that, they still would like to see something done to have this company stopped.
Okay, Jeff, with new reporting on those concerns, thank you very much. Jeff Pickle reporting live tonight. The upcoming Kitchener shows of a controversial comedian, Ben Bankus, have been moved to a new location. Last night, we heard from people upset that the sold-out shows were going ahead at a city-owned facility, the Conrad Center for the Performing Arts. Well, now that plan has changed. CTV's Krista Simpson is here now to follow up this story with an update. Krista.
Tony, the City of Kitchener has not provided many details at this time, only saying that Bankus shows were relocated and ticket holders have been notified. The shows will now be held at Elements nightclub in downtown Kitchener instead. Bankus is known for making jokes about immigrants and diversity, the 2S LGBTQ+ community, and residential schools. In a statement today, Bankus representatives tell CTV News, due to overwhelming fan response, both Ben Bankus shows on Saturday, March 7th have been moved to Elements nightclub at 90 King Street West. All tickets previously purchased will be honored. The show times remain the same. The show remains a seated general admission setting. Yesterday, we spoke with people who were calling on the city to cancel the shows. While they're pleased they are no longer happening at a city-owned venue, they're still disappointed that Bankus is bringing his comments to Kitchener.
It's progress, sure, but it's not the what we were looking for. We were definitely looking to have him canceled completely. I don't think that he stands for what our city should stand for, and there's certainly a lot of people who back that.
I think it's great that the city has changed. I think that I do genuinely believe they didn't know who he was and they didn't know what they were allowed the booking to be. So I am glad that they did that. That being said, I think that it's still a public place, and I still think Element has things to answer for, because I think that they are allowing somebody, they know now that he's spewing this hate speech, and they're allowing him to still perform there.
In a statement, Bankus representatives say to those who accuse him of hate speech that satire and humor laws in Canada fully cover making satirical comments about current events and other sensitive subjects. Now, both of Bankus' shows are listed as sold out on his website. We reached out to Elements nightclub but have not heard back at this time. Tony.
Krista Simpson reporting. Krista, thank you. All right, time for a first check on the weather now. Let's head over to Ashley Bacon here in the studio with all the details. A little chillier out there today and a little nastier as well as far as the precipitation goes, at least when I took a brief little walk outside this afternoon.
You're spot on, Tony. It definitely felt a little more wintry today than it did yesterday. I think we all just got just a little touch of spring yesterday with that 1.7 degree temperature increase. But the good news is we're actually right on where we should be for this time of year. -3 to -11 depending on daytime or nighttime, so we weren't too far off. Now let's talk about a special weather statement Environment Canada issuing this afternoon for local blowing and drifting snow. That's in this gray zone here. Patchy freezing drizzle may occur with these conditions, and of course that can cause slippery conditions. So if you're out on the roadways or walkways tonight, just make sure you take care and take your time. As we look at our radar, you can see a little band of precipitation just hovering around Kitchener-Waterloo. That's producing some flurry activity, but overall not too bad. We're not expecting any major accumulation. Right now, we're sitting at a rather comfortable -4 degrees and the westerly winds from 26 kilometers an hour. So, Tony, overall, not too bad. And the good news is we're likely going to start to see the sun make an appearance tomorrow.
All right, Ashley, thank you very much. We'll talk to you again shortly. All right, now to the story that's been sending shockwaves around the world, really. A small community in British Columbia is tonight the center of unimaginable grief. 9 people, including the shooter, are dead after a school shooting yesterday afternoon. And today, many questions are lingering about how such a tragedy could have occurred. We begin our coverage with CTV's Andrew Johnson.
A heartbreaking symbol of a tight-knit community in mourning.
This is a deeply distressing incident.
Shortly after 1:20 local time Tuesday, an alert was sent out to residents warning an active shooter may be in the community. The RCMP say they rushed to Tumbler Ridge Secondary School, where at least 25 people were found injured. 6 others, a 39-year-old female educator, 3 female 12-year-old students, and 2 male students ages 12 and 13 were found dead inside the school of just 160 students.
Families are just mourning in their own way. Everybody has their own way of expressing remorse and grief, and we give them their comfort zone.
Police say the suspect, who was found at the school dead of an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound, was 18-year-old Jesse Van Rootselaar, a resident of Tumbler Ridge. The suspect's 39-year-old mother, Jennifer Strang, and 11-year-old stepbrother, Emmett, were found dead at the suspect's home.
Well, we don't have an idea yet as to motive. And again, recognizing we're still less than 24 hours into this incident, it is something that we are certainly passionately pursuing. But it would be too early to speculate on motive.
Andrew Johnson, CTV News, Tumbler Ridge, BC.
And as family and the community mourn the victims, the investigation is ramping up into the suspected shooter. CTV's Kathy Lee is also in Tumbler Ridge tonight, where authorities are trying to determine a possible motive.
Police say 18-year-old Jesse Van Rootselaar had dropped out of school 4 years ago and was known to police.
I can say that Jesse was born as a biological male who approximately, the information that I have, approximately 6 years ago began to transition to female and identified as female. Police had attended that residence on multiple occasions over the past several years, dealing with concerns of mental health.
Investigators are still working on 2 crime scenes, the school and the family home.
2 firearms, a long gun and a modified handgun, were recovered by responding officers. Determining the origin of these firearms and what role they played in the shootings remains a significant part of the active and ongoing investigation.
Without a known motive or a suspect to question, investigators will have to conduct interviews with family and friends to see if there were any signs or clues that Van Rootselaar was preparing to carry out something like this.
Quite often people say things and others think, oh, he doesn't really mean it. And then when this happens, they realize he did. Because they don't always come forward and report what friends say.
Any and all social media posts will likely be scanned, making sure no stone is left unturned.
It could be in school counseling, all different sorts of things that could give them that one little piece of information that says this could be why it happened.
That report from CTV's Kathy Lee in Tumbler Ridge, where schools have been closed, and the setting of this tragedy has many people thinking about not only the safety of students, but also navigating conversations with them about the trauma. CTV's Heather Wright has that story.
There are roughly 15,000 public schools in Canada with varying degrees of security systems in place. Today, many parents and students, though, wondering, is their school safe?
The answer is yes. public schools remain safe across this country.
Alan Campbell is the president of the Canadian School Boards Association and says provinces and territories all have safe school measures in place that include lockdown procedures. And while it's still too early to know exactly what happened at Tumbler Ridge Secondary School yesterday, school boards will be looking for any lessons that might help them improve school safety. Campbell says that could include locking all school doors during the day, which is done in most places, but not everywhere. School boards may also choose to do more drills during the year.
The minimum requirement is that schools are having lockdown drills and the like at least twice per school year. Is there a possible response to this event that sees that frequency increasing? I think it's probably a reasonable thing to expect that in some jurisdictions those conversations will happen.
Other conversations happening include difficult questions being asked by kids and teens.
We're not used to hearing about like a high school shooting in Canada, and so it does make us, threaten our security and our safety.
Dr. Rebecca Calais-Riddell is a clinical psychologist and says when explaining the shooting to kids, the most important thing is to make them feel safe.
So keeping it, to a sentence that people were hurt, but there were a lot of brave people. And so with young kids, you want to kind of get in and get out and end with safety.
Dr. Riddell also suggests answering questions honestly, but limiting details that might be too much for a young person to handle. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
2 new moves aimed at getting ahead of Waterloo Region's water capacity crisis. Just ahead, we're going to recap a marathon meeting where a committee of regional councillors signaled they'd like to relax the development freeze while solutions are explored.
Well, we're in for another day of cooler temperatures, but the good news is the weekend is shaping up to be quite nice. Those details with your full weather forecast coming up. Stay with us.
Download the CTV News app and stay on top of local stories as they unfold.
We go to a dramatic scene unfolding.
Customize your feed and watch live wherever you are. ctvkitchener.ca, your home for news.
Some new moves related to the region's water capacity crisis. After a marathon meeting last night, a committee of regional councillors signaled they want to get some development going again. After getting an earful from developers concerned that a freeze on approvals will lead to job losses and more lost projects, the councillors approved a motion from Councillor Barry Verbanovich calling on the region to recommend approvals for up to 50% of the projects that were planned over the next 5 years. Now, the hope is that it will protect investments and keep development from grinding to a halt, while solutions to increase the water capacity are explored.
Trying to find a way that we can move forward in a responsible way to get construction moving as quickly as possible while we address the challenges that staff have been working so hard at over the past couple of months.
Councillors also decided they want a formal review of the region's groundwater supply, where right now the region draws 80% of its water from. Councillor Joe Gowing agreed they have no time to waste on this.
I think waiting 1 full year to get this looked at, I appreciate where Councillor Rodriguez is coming from, but this is something that we need to deal with now so that we don't run into the problems in the future.
As for when these decisions will be ratified at full regional council, well, there's a possibility of a separate meeting focusing only on the water capacity issue. We'll keep you posted on that. It was back in December, by the way, when the region announced it wouldn't have enough capacity in the current system to serve the growing needs of Kitchener, Waterloo, and parts of Cambridge and the townships in the future, setting off a search for solutions that's led to millions of dollars in proposals and one big decision so far, a $15 million pilot project involving a filtration system to try to boost capacity at a key pumping station. Substantial snowdrifts in Huron County are starting to recede thanks to warmer temperatures. Road crews have been using snow blowers to clear some of the more obstructive drifts along highways in the area this week. Some are more than 6 feet high. Crews are trying to limit more drift from forming across roads, preventing closures. But in Bruce County today, there were some road closures because of high winds and blowing snow. Well, now the latest on education. Today is the deadline for both the Peel District School Board and the York Catholic District School Board to submit plans to the Education Minister. Peel is looking for an end to provincial supervision, while York is hoping to avoid it altogether. CTV's Siobhan Morris reports.
Supervision isn't necessary.
That's the case the York Catholic District School Board is trying to make to the Minister of Education. At the end of January, Paul Calandra warned he'd appoint a supervisor if the board didn't get its finances ironed out. They're sending back a roadmap with very minor adjustments.
But we already have a financial recovery plan that our CFO is confident will meet the government's timelines, including contingencies to mitigate risks.
The minister's also taken issue with infighting and what he calls a revolving door of leadership. 7 directors of education in 9 years.
But we currently have stable, experienced leadership in place with our interim director, Jennifer Sarna. She brings nearly 35 years of service to this board.
Rather than a budget overhaul, a promise of trustee training by the end of June.
Trustees' roles and responsibilities, financial oversight, strategic decision-making, and how to maintain a unified voice in supporting our students.
Supervisors have the reins at 6 Ontario school boards right now, and York Catholic isn't the only one at risk of being added to that list.
I felt blindsided. I was shocked.
The reaction from the chair of the Peel District School Board when it was placed under provisional supervision 2 weeks ago. A move the minister said was to prevent the layoff of 60 teachers. But David Green insists that was never going to happen, chalking it up to misinformation.
They were going to ask 47 of those seconded teachers to go back to the classroom.
The long-term occasional teachers who'd been in those classrooms would have returned to the supply pool.
Nobody was losing their job or anything like that.
Insisting the board is financially responsible. An extension of its supervision, not necessary. Minister Calandra has received those updated plans from the York Catholic and Peel boards. He'll spend the next few days reviewing them and deciding what's next. At Queen's Park, Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
A live look outside right now along King Street in downtown Kitchener from the camera of our live photographer Dave Pettit. Some snow flying around out there, and that's kind of been the story this afternoon too. Some scattered precipitation, temperatures getting colder. Yes, we are back into winter-like conditions after that taste of spring. Ashley's back in a couple of moments for our forecast. Also coming up, play ball, the local waiting lists to get into baseball. Is there a connection to that stellar season by the Jays last year? And later, a shared heritage and a powerful connection. An athlete and a coach finding common ground and inspiring others at Wilfrid Laurier University. You know, I just randomly thought of a fun fact, and that is that Valentine's Day is this weekend. Yes. That's not the fun fact. The fun fact is it's the 14th, which means we will be halfway through February later this week.
Oh, that is new. You know, great news, because that means we're this much closer to spring.
That's all I've got for you right now, because the countdown is on. I mean, we're a couple of weeks away from the clocks changing. Yes. That's going to make a big difference in the evenings.
Well, wait till you see our long-range forecast today.
Oh,
I'll leave it on a little bit of a ooh, but honestly, Tony, the temperatures overnight is when I start to realize we're getting closer and closer to spring, is when those overnight lows aren't as low as they've been.
Okay,
so I'll point it out, but first let's take a look outside downtown Kitchener. You can see a little bit of flurries there coming around. Now the good news is we're not going to see much accumulation from those flurries, but they are going to be on and off through the next few hours in our region, and will continue to be so for the start of your Thursday. We might even see a few patches throughout Thursday, but mostly conditions will clear up by tomorrow morning for Waterloo Region. Let's start with a special weather statement, though, in effect from Environment Canada in this gray zone here. Local and blowing and drifting snow, which means, of course, with all those flurry activities, if you're out on the roads while these flurries are happening, it can make for poor visibility, as well slippery conditions. So walkways as well as roadways could be a little slippier as we get into overnight lows tonight. So do take care weather if you are out and about in the next few hours. This is the band of precipitation that's moving through the region at this hour and will continue to do so. It's a little bit darker purple here in Mount Forest and areas surrounding, and that means you'll get around 2 centimeters or so. That's what's expected according to Environment Canada. But for us in Waterloo Region, we're not expecting any further accumulation, just some blowing flurry activity over the next few hours. But as you can see here, through Thursday, we start to get some clearing skies. By Thursday night, we might even be able to check out the stars. It's clearing up so much. Let's take a look at temperatures from across the country. Over on the west coast, a very comfortable afternoon in Vancouver and Victoria, 7 in Vancouver, 8 in Victoria, 2 in Edmonton. In the Prairie provinces, we're looking at 1 in Regina, -6 for Winnipeg. And over in our nation's capital, you're at -5. The sun already setting there. On the east coast in St. John's, -1, and also in Halifax. Halifax is seeing a little bit of light snow this hour. -4 in Kitchener, Waterloo right now, but we are feeling a little cooler with the wind chill, sitting closer to -11. That is going to continue to drop overnight. Our expected low is -10, which is right around our normal for this time of year. -11, -12 is the normal. So we're right on par with that, and around 30% chance for flurries over the next few hours. Tomorrow, we'll see those flurries in the morning, and then we might see a patch through the afternoon, but overall conditions clearing up as we just saw through that futurecast. Looking at our almanac for today, record setting back in 2013 at 5 degrees, 2014 -28.3. So by comparison, us being right on par for what we should be this time of year, not so bad. Looking at our 7-day forecast for Waterloo Region, by the weekend, Tony, this is what I'm talking about. 3 degrees for your Sunday and into Monday, but I want to point out, now this is of course a few days out, so it might adjust a little bit, but overnight Monday, Tuesday, just dropping down to that freezing mark. Very warm indeed. In Lambton, Kent, Essex, similar conditions there, very comfortable. Wednesday, we're predicting double-digit temperatures. Again, a little far out, so that might just a little bit in the next few days, but my goodness, just the tease of it is nice enough to get us there. And in southern Georgian Bay, flurries for your Friday, a high of 1. You're also going to see a mix of sun and cloud for your Valentine's Saturday, a high of 1 degree, and very comfortable conditions overall to start your work week. Okay, let's take a look at today's Weather Watcher photo. Sent in from Jenny. She says she snapped this photo of an adorable owl near Stanley Park Conservation Area on Monday, and I just think, how beautiful is that picture?
Is a beautiful shot.
Very, very beautiful. Thank you for sending in. She did mention in the email as well that this is her first time sending in a Weather Watcher, so I do appreciate you thinking of us and sharing it with our viewers. Thank you.
Yeah, and we'd encourage everyone to do the same. Jenny, keep the photos coming in, and anyone, if you see something in your travels, doesn't even necessarily have to be weather conditions. Maybe it's just something you're out enjoying in the weather.
Absolutely, absolutely. Especially this time of year where, you know, things are warming up. People are getting out and enjoying winter a little bit.
So patio shots in no time?
Almost.
Not yet. We're getting there.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ash.
Thank you.
A busy day for Canadians at the Milano Cortina Games, including a first Olympic podium for veteran ice dancers. CTV's Scott Hurst has more.
A podium finish for Canadian ice dancers Piper Gillis and Paul Poirier, their first Olympic medal.
They've been working really hard. They're an amazing pair together. They've been together for about 15 years now.
The three-time Olympians were in third after the rhythm dance. They put down a score of 131.56 in the free dance for a combined total of 217.74, and that secured them the bronze medal. Reigning Olympic silver medalist in the men's speed skating 1,000 meter, Laurent Dubreuil, was one of 3 Canadians racing for a medal in the event at Milano Cortina. Dubreuil, however, failed to reach the podium this time around, finishing 8th overall. A thrilling finish in the women's freestyle moguls event. Saskatchewan's Maya Schwinghammer reaching the top 8 medal round, putting down a final run score of 77.61. She was just off the podium, however, 5th in her first Olympic Games. Another Olympic final is booked for Elizabeth Hosking in snowboard halfpipe. The Quebec athlete in her 3rd Olympic Games was 8th in qualifying today. The 12-rider final takes place on Thursday. 4 Canadians were taking part in the men's Super G. Jack Crawford, the top athlete wearing the maple leaf, placing 16th in the alpine skiing event, about a second and a half behind the winner. Medals were on the line in biathlon. The top Canadian was 23-year-old Calgarian Pascal Parody, finishing in 24th place. Four-player curling is now underway. Team Brad Jacobs opening up their Milano Cortina experience with a win over Germany. Men's hockey is now officially underway. Canada's first game is tomorrow against Czechia. The women will wrap up their preliminary round in a game tomorrow as well against Finland. Scott Hurst, CTV News, Toronto.
An Olympic House is a space that brings together Team Canada athletes, their families, and fans at the Games. But this year, there is no Canada House. Instead, Canadians in Milan are rallying to organize their own hangouts and viewing parties. CTV's Garrett Berry reports.
A friendly invasion, a sea of red taking over this Milan sports bar and making it
Man, I feel like a woman.
The unofficial Canada HQ.
This is an amazing place. I've just got a whole new room full of friends here.
What started with a few WhatsApp messages and Facebook callouts has become an act of some international diplomacy on one of the world's biggest stages.
People see my Canadian flag on my lapel, only the best energy that's given back to me. I'm really proud to be Canadian.
The Canadians are filling the chairs.
We have a lot of Olympic tickets, but we wanted to do at least have one big Canadian game where we would be with a bunch of Canadian fans.
If you see us hanging out here, come on over and say hi. We're making friends, meeting people from all over the country.
They're flipping the channels over to hockey and explaining the rules to everyone around.
I've seen the sport before, but I've never understood it. I've been educated by Jason's, like offensive line and the blue line.
The Italian staff can't seem to get enough.
Love this place, Blues Canal, because we are like to building a place where people can just be themselves, bringing something from their country.
Gabriella told me that her new Canadian customers and friends are always trying to solve problems and really are just nice. Garrett Berry, CTV News, Milan.
Well, we can now officially say it, the boys of summer are back. For spring training, that is. We're going to head down to Dunedin for the latest on the 2026 Blue Jays roster and the early storylines to watch following a thrilling season. One of the world's largest food companies is staying intact, at least for now. Kraft and Heinz merged in 2015 to become a packaged food giant. After years of seeing market share chipped away by smaller competitors, the company decided in September to split. But a new CEO took the reins last month and now says he thinks the company's challenges are fixable and is halting the split. Kraft Heinz plans to invest $600 million into research and marketing to boost profits. Hey, time to update our top stories. CTV's Alexandra Hollick in studio with us tonight with the latest, Alexandra, as we hear from more people who ran into trouble trying to get their appliances fixed.
That's right, Tony. They called the wrong number and they say they were misled by a Google ad. The homeowners were trying to call Waterloo Appliance Service, but instead they got the appliance repair team. Customers say they were overcharged and the work wasn't done. The Better Business Bureau says it's received hundreds of complaints about the company, but there's not much that legally can be done. The upcoming shows of controversial comedian Ben Bankus have been moved to a new location. The sold-out shows will now be held at Elements nightclub in downtown Kitchener. The move comes after residents were upset the comedian would perform at a city-owned venue. Bankus is known for making jokes about immigrants and diversity, the 2S LGBTQ+ community, and residential schools.
And on our website, Alexandra, a warning from police in Guelph involving old cell phones.
And that comes after a child used one to call 911 more than 120 times, Tony. It happened Sunday evening. Police say when the dispatchers picked up, they could hear a child on the other end, but weren't able to get anyone's attention. They're reminding people that any mobile device can call 911, even if it's not connected to a plan or its SIM card has been removed. For more information on the story, you can head to our website or visit the CTV News app. Tony.
Alexandra Hollick in studio. Thank you very much. Spring training is officially underway for the Blue Jays as pitchers and catchers reported to camp today in Dunedin, Florida. The team posted this video to social media showing spring training complex being prepared for the season. The Jays are looking to return to the World Series this year after falling just short of winning their first championship since 1993. The team spent big this offseason, bringing in starting pitcher Dylan Cease and Japanese star Kazuma Okamoto. However, shortstop Bo Bichette departed in free agency, signing a 3-year deal with the New York Mets. However, the team's already been bitten by the injury bug. The big blow is the loss of outfielder Anthony Santander, who will be out between 5 and 6 months after undergoing shoulder surgery. The 31-year-old appeared in only 54 games last year while dealing with a shoulder injury. Pitcher Bowden Francis will miss the entire season due to Tommy John surgery. And Shane Bieber, who exercised a player option to stay with the Jays this year, is experiencing forearm fatigue and will likely not be ready for opening day. The Jays begin spring training schedule on February 21st. And the Jays' success last year seems to be inspiring more people to try the sport. Local baseball programs say they're seeing a big boost in interest. CTV's Krista Simpson has more.
Good morning.
As pitchers and catchers report in Dunedin for the official start of Blue Jays spring training, excitement for baseball season is growing in places where the diamonds are still covered in snow.
We've seen in the last few years with the success of the Blue Jays that our numbers have gone up pretty steadily.
Registration for Kitchener Waterloo House League Baseball opened in January, and while they expected it to fill up fast,
this year we set a record, I think, for setting sign-ups. In 4 hours, we were 100% booked with all of our players.
more than 400 others have put their names on a wait list in hopes of spots opening up.
The organization says they're looking at whether there are ways to expand the program to get more players on the wait list onto the field.
And share the joy of the sport.
It's a very individual game, but you have to be part of a team in order for it to work. And you're out in the sun, hanging out with your friends. There's really nothing better.
Over in Guelph, Clark Heimbecker plays for the Ontario Blue Jays in the Canadian Premier Baseball League. He's also a junior instructor at the War Room, an indoor baseball facility, and says he's seeing interest in the sport grow too, thanks to the Blue Jays, though not every player aspires to be the next Vladdy Guerrero Jr.
It's everyone wanting to come out and try their best to be on a team and have fun, right? So it's super cool to see people come out and give it their all. It's awesome.
The War Room, which opened in October, is a place where high-level athletes can train, but it has also been fielding inquiries from people just starting out.
We have a number of different options, be that just coming in and renting a lane, throwing a ball around, hitting a ball. We obviously have instructors that can do one-on-one instruction. We also have more structured programs,
including a development program and summer camps. In fact, they had so many inquiries about summer camp, they opened registration earlier than planned.
We saw a lot of parents jumping at that chance. We still do have spots available, certainly, and we'll continue to expand that as the need arises.
For Heimbecker, he's happy to see more people trying the sport he loves.
Baseball is a super big community game. It's a game where people come together to play on a team. I would say over my years of playing baseball, I've been in many, I would say, families, and it's been an absolute pleasure to be a part and meet so many people in this game.
A sport bringing more and more people together. Krista Simpson, CTV News.
Later on CTV News, age is only a number, but music is a powerful language. An intergenerational sing-along in Kitchener that's opened up some profound possibilities. Hannah Schmidt has the story later. A coach and an athlete on the Wilfrid Laurier University football team have found common ground through their shared South Sudanese heritage. As CTV's Colton Weens explains, the two, who instantly connected, are continuing to pave the way for others.
This campus has changed a lot. When I first got to Laurier back in 2002, you could count how many black kids were on campus. It's where now I think it's grown a lot.
44-year-old Neil Booth has been living in Waterloo Region ever since his family fled South Sudan when he was 7 years old. He says there wasn't many others like him in the community, but playing football and other sports helped him adjust to his new reality.
Kind of just one of those that was the stabilizer. When I first came here, English was not even in the equation for me. Athletics was something that was pretty easy because, again, it bridged a lot of the barriers that I had. And, through play, you're able to make some new friends.
Booth played football at Cameron Heights Collegiate Institute and was a Golden Hawk for his university career. Followed by a coaching stint at the University of Waterloo, he's now the running backs coach at Wilfrid Laurier University and uses his influence to try and encourage black youth to pursue post-secondary education, especially those of South Sudanese heritage.
When I was coaching at the University of Waterloo, that was something that I made a priority. I wanted to try to get as many South Sudanese kids as possible, not just from an athletic standpoint, but just for the opportunity of having an education.
That's why Booth gravitated to Paul O'Galley when he joined the Golden Hawks in 2023. The defensive back was born in Edmonton after his parents and 6 older siblings left South Sudan, saying there was an instant familiarity when they met.
Instant connection, like I was spending a lot of time with his kids. Like I kind of feel like they just drew towards me, and he was a big reason as well to why I decided to come here. Just having conversations with him and just him making me feel welcomed and him making me understand that it's about just having another South Sudanese kid having a chance at education. I was like, you know what, I have to figure out who this kid is, and then I wanted him to then know that there was another person here that is of the same nationality as him, so that was something that drew us right away.
O'Galley says seeing athletes with South Sudanese heritage succeed at professional levels continues to inspire him to push to be a pro, and while Booth says their stories aren't that unique, they want to continue inspiring others like them to pursue their dreams.
I think Paul and I and those other kids that I've mentioned earlier, I think we provide an opportunity for kids that are looking at us to say that it is possible. You can do all this.
Colton Weens, CTV News, Waterloo.
And time for a quick break, but first let's check in with Ashley.
Well, a little winter weather to start our day tomorrow, but the sun is expected to make an appearance. More on that coming up. Stay with us. E-Talk will start your night off at 7, followed by Shifting Gears, then The Masked Singer. At 9, Fear Factor, House of Fear. And cap your night off with Shark Tank at 10.
All right, Alexandra Hollick is back with a look at some stories our team's following for later tonight. Alexandra.
Tony, we'll be watching for updates out of Tumbler Ridge, British Columbia tonight following the mass shooting that left 9 people, including the shooter, dead. And on a lighter note, we'll also be keeping an eye on our local sports as the Guelph Storm head to London to take on the Knights. Tony.
Okay, Alexandra, thank you so much. And Ashley's here with our wake-up weather for Thursday. I like where the 7 days going a little bit later. Another little mild spell, but not right away.
Not right away. We're going to have pretty seasonal temperatures tomorrow. Overnight, a little bit below seasonal, but by Friday, Tony, temperatures will be back on the up. But for tomorrow, we'll see some partly cloudy skies by 6 a.m. and then the sun should start to make a peek out through by 8. So not too bad at all, but cooler temperatures. So you're going to want to dress the part.
The sun's still a win in some way, though.
Sun is a win, for sure.
It sure is. Well, finally, for us tonight, music is proving that age is truly only a number.
I love this. The Intergenerational Jamboree is connecting children with seniors in long-term care in Waterloo Region.
And as CTV's Hannah Schmidt found out today when she attended one of those jamborees, it is also creating some powerful new connections.
A quiet morning at Winston Park Retirement Home in Kitchener is cut short. By the strum of a guitar with a familiar tune that many here remember well. Just as residents begin to sing along, they're joined by some younger friends. 'Cause my friends are your friends and your friends are my friends. It's called the Intergenerational Jamboree, a weekly music session that brings seniors, including those living with memory loss, together with families with young children.
It's kind of bringing in some other memories of when they were parents or grandparents and being able to interact.
The initiative by Laurier's Academy of Music and Arts first launched in 2024 as a pilot project with funding from the Center for Elder Research at Sheridan College.
So we'll have residents that are virtually nonverbal throughout the day, and then when they begin to sing the songs, that activates memories.
A program that quickly caught the eye of this retirement home.
It's that stimulation, interaction,
with the small kids, and as I say, their faces light up, and it draws them out.
It's our highlight of the week to come and sing songs, and it's always fun listening to them at home sing some of the songs from here.
It's been said music can help spark recognition and engagement, particularly for those living with dementia. And here, it's created some powerful moments.
And we actually had a husband of one of our members say, "This is the first time I've heard my wife's voice in a very long time," which is just a really precious gift.
For resident and former teacher Linda Evers, it was a full circle moment.
I had some wonderful choirs because there were so many children and we had lots of time to sing. It just brightens up your day.
Now in its second year, the program continues with community support, including a donation from a retirement home resident in memory of her husband.
We had to find funding, and my mom decided that in honor of my dad Ross, that his wife Lois Bradshaw would support the program.
And so, for an hour each week, generations separated by nearly a century find common ground.
Oh, tears come to my eyes. I just want to go and hug them.
Not through conversation, but through rhythm and song. Hannah Schmidt, CTV News, Kitchener.
Well,
Love
if that
it.
doesn't put a smile on your face, I don't
Love
know
it.
what would. Oh my goodness.
You know, we talk a lot about being music fans and about how much we love music from over the decades, but it's true, isn't it, that there really is something about it that just taps into your soul and takes you to a time and place.
Absolutely.
Or a mood.
Absolutely. It was a beautiful story. Thank you, Hannah.
Yeah, wonderful story by Hannah. And of course, that's going to do it for us today. We're just about out of time. Thank you so much for watching. Alexandra Hollick is back with your next local news. That's tonight at 11:30, right after the CTV National News. And you
I'll be here.
and me, we'll both be back here tomorrow as well.
We certainly will.
Have a good night. Take care.